So Lamar Jackson said he wants to pass for 6,000 yards this season with all the new weapons he has. Is it possible? We're about to get into it. What's up, guys? I'm Ryan. I'm the host of the Flock Rundown, bringing you everything Ravens. Just a lifelong fan who has a passion for the game and for the team. And I just want to chop it up with you guys. So Lamar in his press conference said he wants to throw for 6,000 yards, which has never been done before. And I thought he was kind of joking, just saying that how stacked we are. But the media is taking it literally, or maybe they're just using it for clickbait. I'm not really sure. I hate that stuff, but I get it. They got jobs. They need views. Everyone's posting content now, blah, 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 blah. So I don't think Lamar was that serious. I mean, I'm sure he'd love to do that. They even asked Zay Flowers about it in his press conference, and he's like, hell yeah. And, I love the mentality of thinking that way, especially with Todd Monken's new offense. I am expecting us to pass the ball way more. And we have the weapons, so we have to use them. I mean, signing OBJ, drafting Zay Flowers, getting a healthy Rashad Bateman back, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, the same offensive lines back. We got Lamar locked up. We are stacked to pass. But 6,000 yards, I don't even think that would be good football for us. I think that passing for 6,000 yards, we would lose clock management, which we are incredible at, and we need to use our running game. We have the linemen to be an elite running team, and we have the backs. J.K. Dobbins is yet to be unleashed. I keep saying that. J.K. Dobbins is about to have a year if used properly. He has the confidence. He wants the ball. He's got the skill set. He's got the talent. He's finally healthy. He's got to stay healthy, obviously. But I think J.K. Dobbins can run wild. And then you got Gus Edwards pounding the rock. We have the team where I think we could get out to a 14-0 lead. Our defense is shutting teams down. And then we just really start running the ball. We start controlling the clock. That's the way that we won in 2019. I think we'll pass more for sure. But I think a more realistic number for Lamar, even him going off, is 4,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing, or 800 rushing, around 1,000. I don't want to see Lamar running as much, especially the design runs. I do think when everyone's covered, Lamar's going to take off. I mean, he's got it in him. He's been doing this his whole life. And if he's not using his legs, then he's not his full self. And I trust his arm. His arm's insanely underrated. His accuracy is insanely underrated. I've seen him ball. We've all seen him ball. This guy can throw the football, and he was throwing to receivers that just really weren't that great. OBJ, Zay Flowers, and Rashad Bateman are already better than who we've had since in Lamar's whole career. And you add Andrews still in there and Likely. We got an incredible passing offense. So I do expect the passing numbers to be lifted drastically. But I think 6,000 is unrealistic. And I honestly think that wouldn't be the best for our team. I mean, let me know what you guys think, but I think it would be cool. It'd be something crazy to talk about. Lamar would probably win MVP again, but I don't really care about that anymore, and I know he probably doesn't either. He's already won an MVP. We've already made the playoffs almost every year. We've already put up great offensive numbers. We got to win a Super Bowl. We got to win multiple Super Bowls. That's the only thing that should be on our minds. We got to get to the Super Bowl. So I think that 4,000 passing yards is an incredible season for him and all the receivers. And I think, 800 to 1,100 rushing yards for Lamar, just on pure, freestyle scrambles. I don't want to see as many design runs. Actually, I would be okay if we barely ran any design runs for Lamar. I think that he should just run if the play breaks down. And he's going to be incredible at that. He's going to be incredible at that. I don't know how defenses are going to cover this offense. We're going to be able to attack the field everywhere in whatever way we want. We have weapons at every position. And Todd Monken said that he's a space guy, and I think that's perfect for a guy like Zay Flowers and Bateman and OBJ. All have their space. There's going to be a lot of one-on-one matchups, and they can win, and they're going to win those one-on-one matchups. I truly believe that. I think that our passing game is going to be completely unlocked, and we're going to see an explosive passing game, just not 6,000 yards. And the media is attacking. And when I say media, I mean, I don't really mean Ravens fans usually. I'm talking about the national media, First Take, Pat McAfee show, all those. And I like those shows, Undisputed. I tune into them. I do tune into them, but usually I realize that they don't know much about the Ravens. specifically, and that's probably because they have to cover such a wide range of sports topics that they can't focus on one team, so they don't know the Ravens like we know the Ravens. So when I see stuff like that about killing Lamar for saying that he's going to pass for 6,000 yards, they're like taking him so literally. And I don't think that he kind of had a smirk on his face. Like, I think that he just means that, like, this team is about to go off, and I believe it. One other thing I want to get into real quick is Lamar's salary cap numbers were released. So this year, 2023 is $22 million cap hit. Next year, $33 million. 2025 is $43.5 million. 2026, $74.5 million. 2027, $74.5 million. And then there's 2 void years in 2028, 2029 that are like $12.5 million. So what I see happening, as long as he stays healthy and everything goes to plan, we'll probably just restructure and extend his deal after the 2025 season to soften the blow of the 2026 cap number, the 2027 cap number, and to not have those void years kill us. Void years, if you don't know, create a lot of dead money. So void years are really cool because you get to lower that cap hit. And we gave Lamar a huge signing bonus. I think he's making like $80 million this year. So he's paid. But we add those void years to lower that cap hit so that we can still make moves. It's just kind of like a workaround thing. We did that with OBJ. So OBJ's on a 1-year, $15 million with incentives up to $18 million. But there's 2 void years. And the penalty of the void years is if, like, OBJ goes somewhere else next year, we have to eat like $13 million in dead money. And we're not going to want to do that. So I think if OBJ stays healthy, we're going to try to extend him as well, at least a year or two, just to get rid of that dead money, because you don't want to have dead money. You don't want to be paying a guy $13 million who's not even on your team. I mean, that's really going to hurt your roster. So Lamar's cap hit in 2026, 2027 gets kind of out of control. And maybe the salary cap keeps going up to that, though. I'm looking at $74.5 million in 3-4 years from now. Might be standard for quarterbacks. I don't know. But if I had to guess sitting here right now, I would say we plan to extend him again, make him a Raven for life officially, and spread those numbers out a little bit so that we can still keep a competitive team around him. Because we don't want to fall into a Rams trap, where you go so all in for 2 years, and then you have to completely cut everyone, trade everyone for 4th, 5th, 6th round picks just to unload their cap number, and then you're just stuck basically in rebuild mode. You're going to have a top 10 draft pick every year. I don't want to go through that as a fan. Even if we won a Super Bowl, I don't want to go through that. I think what I've loved and respected about the Ravens so much, is about their front office throughout all these years, is that they just always do their best to stay competitive. They don't really go all in to sacrifice the next 5 years. We did have a couple periods of that, like after the 2000 Super Bowl, we kind of sucked for a while, but we didn't have a quarterback. And I think that's huge. If we would have had a decent quarterback and not rolling with Elvis Gerback and Kyle Bowler and those guys, I think we would have been able to do all right. Look, when we got Steve McNair, we had a good run, So, like, I think now that we have Lamar, that makes up for some roster flexibility. Lamar himself is going to close that gap, so we're good there. And then after the 2012 Super Bowl, when we signed Flacco, we got into kind of a hole where we couldn't really put a lot of weapons around him, and then we saw the offense just stall out. So we had to have learned from those moves, and I know that was Ozzie doing that, but Eric DeCosta's been there the whole time under Ozzie, so he's observed that. He's observed those mistakes, and I feel like we're really set up in a good spot right now where we're not mortgaging our future. So we have, we are kind of all in spending-wise up to that cap. And especially with some of these void years, there's definitely some risk. I mean, there's some risk if Odell gets hurt or just walks away next year. We're going to take a little hit next year for it. But I love it. I love the aggressiveness, and I think there's just such a good balance between being aggressive, being all in, and still having a competitive future, still having room for years to come. And we have a lot of the young core star Ravens locked up. You know, Marlon Humphrey, Ronnie Stanley, Roquan Smith, Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson. They're locked up. They're here for a few more years. And then all the rookie deals. Now you got Zay Flowers for 5 more years. We're always going to keep drafting that influx, and then we lock up those core guys. And I think that's just the perfect balance to stay competitive and never have to go all in just to then have to rebuild, so that we can compete every single year. It gives hope to fans, you know? Like, I want to watch every year with the hopes that we can win the Super Bowl. I don't like the Rams fans right now. They want a Super Bowl. They're chilling, but like they're not into these seasons anymore. Like, they're gonna watch, but like they know they're not gonna win a Super Bowl, and that's tough to watch. I'm a fan of the Ravens, Wizards, Orioles, Caps, and I'm seeing the Wizards organization and even the Caps organization right now as it starts to dwindle, just not make the smartest moves. You know, the Orioles finally turn their around, but like if you're an Orioles fan, like you know how long we were sitting there just winless season after winless season, and like the Ravens have just never operated like that, and I love them for that. I really do. I really respect that. So, what do you think about Lamar's 6,000-yard comment? Do you think it's realistic? Do you think he's just excited about the weapons? What do you think about the media spinning it, trying to say it's a bad idea for him to think that way and all that? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, have a great day, guys. Once again, I'm Ryan. This is the Flock Rundown, where we're talking everything Ravens, and I will see you next time.